Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we've got another amazing gaming laptop. The 2021 ASUS ROG Zephyrus G15. The model we got is the Moonlight White version with a 15.6-inch QHD 1440p screen with 165Hz refresh rate. An 8-core AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS processor with 32GB of DDR4 RAM, although it can support up to 48, and this super powerful NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 graphics card with 8GB of GDDR6 dedicated video RAM. We also got a 1TB SSD card with the max possible being 2TB. This laptop also has 6 speakers. So right off the bat, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's got a really cool reflective rainbow thing going on there on the case. Looks pretty cool. But enough about the box, let's open this up. Oh, look at that. ROG, Republic of Gamers. Laptop kind of pops up a little bit there. And there she is. Got the IPS level adaptive sync, two-way AI noise cancellation, dual force canceling woofers, 3D mic array, and Type-C charging. Alright, now for my favorite part, taking off the plastic. Yeah, it's definitely a pretty light laptop. So we've got a long, thin nub here on the front, and then an even longer, thicker nub here on the back. 2 intake vents, and then a bunch of little nubs here in the middle. I'm guessing they put those in there for durability, possibly also to help prevent chassis flex. But overall, I know that it's gonna help maintain enough of a gap here in order for airflow to come in here really nice. You can see we've got Zephyrus right here. We've got 2 speakers here, and then 2 speakers on the front. And then on the other side, it's supposed to have subwoofers underneath the palm rests. Stick around because later in the video, we're gonna remove this entire panel and take a look at the internals. So it's got over 8,000 perforations along this lid with a colorful prismatic film underneath that gives a nice little shimmering effect. It looks like it might be RGB LEDs, but it's not. Republic of Gamers, established in 2006. Alright, before we open the laptop, we're gonna see what else is in the box. Got your warranty card and your user manual. And this is our power brick. Wow, a very small power brick. It's a 200-watt power brick. Then your cords. So you can see on the back we've got a really big exhaust vent. And then on the right side, a Kensington security lock, another exhaust vent, a micro SD card reader, and a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port. And then on the other side, another exhaust vent, a DC in port, an HDMI 2.0 port, an Ethernet jack, another USB 3.2 Gen 2 port, 2 USB-C ports. So because this isn't an Intel machine, you're not going to get a Thunderbolt 3 port. And then we've got a headphone and microphone jack. So what's going on the inside? Wow, out of all of the gaming laptops that I've reviewed, this is the most difficult bottom plate to take off. This one last screw right here just would not budge. So because all the other screws came out, we can kind of take a peek at it and see the Wi-Fi card right there. The 84 blade arc flow fans made of liquid crystal polymer. You can see one of our 2 16GB RAM slots right there. The one that's not soldered on. Our 90-watt-hour battery there on the back. There's one of our M.2 slots. Oh wow. So as you open the lid, it raises the whole keyboard up. That is an experience. 180 degrees. Move that piece. Wow, look at that touchpad. So apparently this glass touchpad is 20% bigger than last year's and 40% faster. So this is supposed to be a stealth type keyboard rated at only 20 decibels. It's pretty quiet. Got a nice feel. We've got even more speakers here on the front and then subwoofers under the palm rests. So I'm expecting some pretty nice sound quality. You've got your dedicated gaming buttons right here. Wow, those are super quiet. This button right here is your dedicated ASUS software button. I'm not so sure about these vents being located right here. It feels like at some point the screen is gonna get some of that heat. So I don't know if that's gonna affect anything. If it doesn't do anything bad to it, then I think it's cool. But to me, it feels feels like heating has to affect the screen somehow. Other than that, I love these really thin bezels here on the sides, and then even on the top where we've got our stereo microphone. One thing it doesn't have is a webcam, which I thought was kind of weird, so that might be a deal breaker for some people. The click on the touchpad feels pretty good. It's a really solid click. I like the texture of the touchpad. I'm really not seeing any fingerprints at all. Even on the touchpad, I don't see any fingerprints. Fingerprints on the screen show up pretty strong, but on the actual body itself, I've got some pretty oily fingers and I don't see anything right now. I really would rather not plug it in for the demonstration, so let's see how much battery it's shipped with. Looks like I'm gonna have to resort to plugging it in. Use your fingerprint to sign in faster and more securely. Setup. Repeatedly lift and rest your finger on the sensor until setup is complete. Now try another angle. Rest and lift your finger at different angles to capture the edges of your print. Overall, the fingerprint sensor on the iPhone is just a little bit easier to set up. Remind me later. No thanks. Not now. Hi. We are getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes. Do not turn off your PC. Wow, that is an intense default background. There's our little armory crate button. Ooh, very cool. This UI is nice. You can move things around. Got your CPU stats, your GPU stats, memory and storage, fan speed, game launcher. I don't know if you can hear that, but the fan noise is pretty quiet at idle. Actually, it just turned off. So apparently if the temperatures don't go above 50 degrees on the CPU or the GPU, the fans just turn off completely. That's pretty cool. Got our GPU power saving, our lighting, breathing, strobing. So one thing that I don't like, from my perspective at least, it looks like there's LEDs around the letters themselves, but there's kind of like a weird shadow in the middle of each button. When you shade it, it looks pretty good. When you're looking at it in normal light mode, the lighting almost makes the keys themselves harder to read. Yeah, the keys are actually easier to read with the lights off when you're in an environment that has lights. So you got your thermal settings. If you hit function, F5, silent, performance, turbo. So most laptops these days have color within their lighting. Zero color within this lighting, so I'm not really a fan of that. I'm interested to see what these speakers sound like.
With rates starting as low as $30 per month for
7i.
Pretty impressed with the speakers. I thought the subs underneath the palm rest were going to be kind of annoying, but apparently they're offset in such a way that the vibrations cancel each other out but still give a good bass output. It's only 4.2 pounds and 0.8 inches thick. On paper, this has got some pretty powerful specs. So with it being this thin and this light, I'm really interested to see how well it performs. That's crazy that the screen is actually completely flush with the table. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the design of this, and my first impressions are it's a pretty good quality machine. But keep an eye out next Friday for our full review on this machine, where we take you through every single detail that you're going to need to know before purchasing this expensive but possibly very high performing laptop. Guys, every Friday I do a giveaway that randomly selects someone who's interacted with my channel. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on, and keep an eye out for that. And the winner for this week is
Pixel XG.
Thanks for watching, guys. I love you guys. God bless.